The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, owner, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
Good morning, Jackie.
How are you?
I beat you to it. You did. I'm doing well. I'm doing really good. We just had some funny things.
Yeah, we were just laughing.
Just had some fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have more fun.
We're going to have a lot more fun because Shelby Hess, broker and founder, and Dustin Bowen, president of Homes 570, are here with us again this week. Round two, guys. All right?
Round two. Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us. We are here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we discuss real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for over 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or you can give us a call at 570. Oh, wait, that sounds familiar. 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and see what's going on at Dunmore Corners. Sometimes it's interesting.
View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com, where we also have all the podcast apps that we feature this radio show on. And remember to check us out on social media. Okay, Homes 570. How did you come up with that name? It's a property management company. How did you come up with Homes 570?
That's a great question. I don't know if we really have an answer to that.
All right.
That's before my time.
It is before your time.
Do you service, let me ask you this then, because I'm thinking, do you have property management clients outside of the 570?
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so that's fair. But primarily, that's pretty much your focus.
Lackawanna, Luzerne County, Wayne County, Pike County.
Mm-hmm.
So you're property managers in all those different areas.
Yes.
All right. Good to know. All right. Last week, we really talked about what you do on a daily basis, how you screen tenants, what you do as property managers. And Dustin talked about all the vendors, contractors you have that supply services for your properties that you manage. Okay. And this week, I wanted to talk about, last week we started down talking about, some of the things that owners of properties have to be careful of, whether they rent out their units themselves with a realtor or with a property manager. There's things that they cannot do, right? It's discrimination. It's a housing violation. But let's go back to, we were talking about animals and pets. And are there certain types of animals and pets that someone can't have in a property?
Yeah, so what a lot of owners don't know, and rightfully so, is that there is something with the insurance, and it's called the forbidden breed list. And that's where a lot of owners can kind of get themselves tripped up as far as their insurance goes. There are certain breeds that are on there that, regardless of their situation with, service animals, things like that, that can get their insurances canceled.
So can we talk about the types of animals?
Yeah, so mostly it's dog breeds, right?
Okay.
So pit bulls are on the list, German shepherds. It goes right down to actually even Weimaraners are on there, which is something that you wouldn't, think about. But yeah.
So from a safety perspective, this is something that the insurance companies deem to be
a liability
and a risk.
Yep.
And it's because of maybe their aggressive nature?
It is their aggressive nature, yeah. Yep. That's why they get
So I'm sure there's a listener out there thinking to themselves, well, how would the insurance company know?
Oh, they know, for sure. Sometimes the adjusters come around if they have to take a look at the property, right? Let's say they're inspecting a roof or something of that nature for a new policy, and they find out.
Also on the application, they have to list what breed they have. If they are bringing a pet with them, they have to list the type of pet and the type of breed that pet is.
Right. Okay, so that's on the lease, but the insurance company doesn't get the lease.
They don't get the lease, but the application could flag.
As well as us doing our job to make sure that the tenant knows that we can't have that pet in one of our managed properties.
Mm-hmm. So there's people that, I mean, obviously people with those types of dogs, breeds, sometimes are renters. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you see dogs like this all over the place, right? Everywhere you go. And I don't know.
So we try to offer alternatives. No one wants to be separated from a pet, but if they're in love with the property, we start to mention if there's someone else in their village per se that they can
family,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we had an instance just about a month ago where they had a husky, and the husky, beautiful dogs. Oh my goodness! But they're on the list, and we didn't make the list, so we couldn't rent to them. So what we did was, who in your family has a good relationship with that pet that might be able to bring that pet into their house? And it ended up that their mom was, I think it was like a minute or two away. So she took the puppy in, and everybody was happy.
Now, can the puppy have visiting rights?
I'm sure that would be fine.
As long as they pick up after the dog.
Okay.
Or I'm issuing a violation.
All right. Well, yeah, that's interesting because I know there's probably a lot of people out there that own property that never knew this existed. Mm-hmm. I've known because I'm in real estate, and I've heard, if you have a pit bull, be careful as an owner because you might get your insurance dropped. When we rented properties, when we owned our investment properties, we had a no pet policy.
Yeah, no pet policy, no nothing. Mm-hmm. But I had a guy who brought his little Jack Russell Terrier in, and it ripped up the carpet, but he's a friendly dog. Mm-hmm. He's a good dog.
They're always friendly.
Oh, no, he's friendly. He's the
brand new carpet that was just laid down a week before these people occupied it. And there was a big square cut out of it right in the middle of the room because...
Yeah, he tried to hide it, but,
You couldn't
the little
hide
Jack
that.
Russell, he didn't.
Yeah, but that's what happens. Sometimes people
And then if you take something off the security, you're the bad guy. Yeah. Yeah, but, the carpeting's free. Don't you know that?
Right.
I'm going to tell them when I go to the carpeting store, the dog was friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of where our move in and move out process is so important too. So when an owner makes this election, if they do allow the pets, we do encourage that they charge an additional fee, obviously for security. But then when we are moving the tenants in, which is something that Homes 570 handles for you as well, we are ensuring that when we're doing the walkthrough and the tenants are signing off on the walkthrough, that we are also taking video and pictures, and those all get documented. That way, when we do the move out, depending upon what damage is noted in the property that wasn't reported or handled by one of our maintenance personnel, that is all what determines what comes off of that security at the time that they move out.
Mm-hmm. How often do you have to keep security?
Pretty much every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is a very minute that we give a full security back. Oftentimes there is a large percentage that's provided back to the tenant, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's talk about security. We landed on a topic that, again, this is something that's often misunderstood. Let's talk about security.
Let's talk about security.
Landlords last month, halfway between 2 years from now, 18 years from now, security. Yep. Can they charge that type of security?
So security is a very similar to our escrows, right? Is a very sensitive topic. And unfortunately, it's where a lot of companies get tripped up. So security has to go into a separate escrow account. And that's where it has to be kept, has to be documented. And that is the only place that it can stay.
Whether they're with the property manager or on their own.
Correct.
Yeah, people don't know this.
They do not know this.
And it has to be interest-bearing.
That is correct.
Unless it states in the lease that it's a non-interest.
That it's non.
Right.
That's right.
Right, which is what we do. And I wasn't going to sit down and calculate interest. It was not happening.
No,
in my world. It just wasn't. So I would say it was going, and it did. It went into a separate account, but I didn't collect interest. Mm-hmm. Okay.
many of the properties that we have taken over as of recent, and this is again why we're getting into this industry, because this is so important. We'll ask the owners, where is your security? Who holds it currently? And I mean, twice now I've been given it's with my other property management company. Okay, can you give me their contact information? Let me go ahead and get a hold of them so we can do the transfer into ours and hold it for you. So they give you the name, the address. You pull it up. It's an old rundown hair salon that has broken glass in it and nobody's actually there. So where's the security? What happened to it? And then we have to go through a whole document process as far as the fact that we are hold harmless. We do not have it.
Okay. So there's times when you have a security deposit from somebody because you rent it to them. Now you inherit the property. Say you're taking over as property manager. You have a long-term tenant in the property. And rents have really increased over the last 3 to 4 years, right? So in some cases doubled.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So when the time they first occupied the property to now, there's a big difference in what the rent is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And big difference in what the security is, because security usually is in the amount of the rent, the monthly rental amount, correct?
That is correct.
So if you charge $1,000 for an apartment, more than likely you'll be collecting $1,000 in security deposit, right? Yep. But 10 years ago, that might have been $500. Do you update as property managers? Will you increase that security and then enter into a new lease?
So again, that's something that we would leave at the discretion of the owner of the property, but it is suggested.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, because the cost of repairs, things like that, everything has gone up. Building supplies, carpet alone. We just carpeted a small apartment, and I think the total for the carpet bill was what, $2,800?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a very small square footage of property that needed to be carpeted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's tackle this. And I don't really like to get complicated or in the weeds, but let's tackle this. Can you take a double security deposit? Can you take a pet security deposit if there's an animal and you had a no pet policy, but it's a little poodle, and maybe now you'll be a little bit more receptive to having that pet there? Will you take a pet deposit? Can you take a pet deposit? What are the answers to those questions?
So you can take a pet deposit as long as it is clearly documented in the lease agreement and or the pet addendum that there is an additional security that is required for that
animal.
Pet. Yes.
All right. How about first and last month's rent? Because a lot of owners want first and last month's rent. PAR Pennsylvania Association of Realtors has a very strong opinion on this. Mm-hmm. It could be only taken, this is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your world more than it's mine. Mm-hmm. Okay. You can take first and last month's security. So if it's $1,000 rental, you can take $2,000. But after 1 year, you must give it back to that tenant.
That is correct.
Right. So we're out of it. Like if we rent for an owner, we rent an apartment and they sign a year lease, we're out of it at that point. So it's our policy not to take first and last month's rent, because I cannot guarantee that that owner may not develop amnesia along the line or simply just forget, because people forget. And my company is not going to be responsible.
Yeah. That's where the documentation and the, where security is held is so important. And a lot of people, do not understand that needs to be completely separate from like your operating account.
Right. So this can get tricky.
Very tricky. And you can get tripped up very quickly.
I mean, there are case studies, where, and it's been established, and this is something that people need to understand, especially if they're in this world.
Yep. Hugely so.
Okay. All right. So how are your fees structured? Let's talk about that. I'm sure people are thinking out there, what does this cost a property manager? Is it expensive?
So we unfortunately can't work for free.
Why not?
Right? But the way we structured our fees is we do have a select menu of operational onboarding costs. Once we get through them, it is 10% per month of the tenant. Should we have to enter a new lease, we do hold their first month's rent, as well as maintenance. It's depends on the maintenance.
Yeah. So if they need to replace the water heater, they're paying for the water heater replacement.
Yes, as well as traditionally it's around 10% additional for us doing the coordination.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Because we handle all of that. And that's where the owners can have as much or as little involvement as they would like. We set a thresholds for them as well. It's negotiated, right? But the suggestion is about $450 to hold an operating account. That way, if we need to send a plumber over real quick to unclog a toilet or something like that, we don't have to consistently bother those owners to get that approval for that to be done.
Very smart. Have a little cushion there.
Right. And then we're just handling that for them, and we're turning over the report to say, hey, here's what happened. Here's how we took care of it, and here's what the amount was that was charged, and now we need to replenish your operating account.
All right, got it. Good.
We also document how long it took from call to completion. That we feel there's a lot of value in how quick we can get the
turnaround. All right, good. What happens if a property sits vacant? Do fees still apply?
No.
If we're marketing the property or doing a turnover, no, we're not charging the owner for the month that it is.
Okay. Right.
And our goal is to get that turnover as quick as possible. Get that, get somebody in there. Keep that rental income coming, so there's no interruption.
So there's a lot of people out there that have property managers that aren't you, and so for anybody out there listening that is a tenant and renting a property, how can they get quicker responses from their management company? Sometimes we'll hear that they're being ignored.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just being a pest, just keep sending pictures, telling the property management company, hey, this is real, this is happening. You have rights, and, if something breaks in your property, they're responsible for fixing it. And if they don't fix it, look into and do your research on what you can do against that.
Can people if there's a roof leak and it's dripping into their whatever room, can they reduce their amount of rent or not pay their rent?
No, we usually don't suggest or advocate for that to happen. Mm-hmm.
Because that could come back.
It could, because there's no way ultimately to document how much damage, that caused. Or how long the tenant let that go until they actually reported it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, a lot of people do that. They think that they can get a quicker response if they don't send their check in, but it can actually backfire, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you tell your tenants to get renter's insurance? Because people think, if something happens, like if the roof leaks and then it leaks on my couch and destroys my couch, as the landlord, I'm not liable for that.
Correct.
So
we strongly suggest it.
You know what a suggestion is? A suggestion is a subtle demand. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So we subtly demand that you get it.
Strongly demand, yes.
Yes, very good. Okay, guys, how does someone get in touch with Homes 570, please?
Sure. So you can call Shelby at 570-892-0844. Contact me directly at 570-430-9458. Our website at www.homes570.com. Our email, info@homes570.com. Across all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. We are all over the place. We're easy to find.
Excellent. Shelby Hess, broker and founder, and Dustin Bowen, president of Homes 570. I'd like to thank our sponsor this week. They are Campus Jewelers. If you're looking to turn your gold, silver, or fine jewelry into top dollar, head to Campus Jewelers. That's CAMPAS. They specialize in buying and selling large diamonds, estate and engagement pieces, gold antiques, coins, watches, and more. From broken chains to class rings to mismatched earrings to dental gold, they buy it all and guarantee the highest cash paid. Always buying, always fair, and all trades of value considered. Visit Campus Jewelers at 476 Bennett Street in Luzerne. Call 570-288-1966 or go to campusjewelers.com. Again, that's CAMPAS. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturdays, 10 to 3. Campus Jewelers, where your pieces are priceless. Pat?
Yes, we have a gorgeous 3-bedroom, 3-bath home at 828 Lake Henry Road in Lake Ariel for $369,000. You really should go to jready.com and look at the pictures, because this description does not do this home justice at all. It's really beautiful. This is a completely updated home. It's got a stunning kitchen, and the kitchen opens up into a living room with the fireplace. It's a ranch-style home. It has a new heating and air conditioning system, along with a charming front porch. The lower level has even more living space with a finished family room. All of this on a 210 by 259 lot with low taxes of only $2,800 a year. I like that a lot. That's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, ranch-style home at 828 Lake Henry Road in Lake Ariel for $369,000, and that home is listed by Kimberly Pizzanti of our office.
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to Albert O'Donnell, who is a faithful, loyal listener. Thanks for tuning in, Al. We appreciate you letting us know that you are a loyal listener. And I want to also announce we have a new agent.
No, who is it? Have I met him?
You have.
Have I?
Patrick J. Devaney IV. Our son.
Boy, that name sounds familiar.
Yes, our son is now a realtor with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate. He just finished his freshman year of college, but while he was studying, he goes to a school outside of our area in another state. Actually, he studied for his real estate license and is probably going to pursue a business degree of some sort, maybe finance. But his college does not encourage internships going from freshman year to sophomore year. So he thought in order to build his business resume, he'd do what his dad and mom do, real estate.
And he's got his own business on the side. He's got Patty's Lawn Care he's been doing since he's a little kid.
Yeah.
And he's got guys working for him. This kid he's a hustler.
And he wants to, and he really wants to, and I hope his instructor allows him, he really wants to train and teach young children karate.
Muay Thai.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he's got 2nd degree black belt in karate. Then he transitioned to Muay Thai. He's really, don't fool around with this kid. He says, Dad, box me. I was like, I don't think so, kid. I mean, come on, Dad, ball with me. No, thanks. I don't want to get my butt
I have to
kicked.
leave the room.
Because we start rolling around, and then he puts me in a hold. And I don't know.
Someone gets hurt, it's usually you.
Yeah, of course it is. The old guy gets hurt.
All right. So we welcome Patrick to our team of dedicated professionals, and he'll do a really good job because he works hard, he's industrious, and he's a smart guy. Stick around for more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We will resume after a very brief intermission.
Home. It's more than just walls and a roof. It's where laughter echoes, where memories are made, and where life truly happens. At Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we know that finding the right home isn't just about real estate. It's about finding your place in the world. With trusted agents, unmatched experience, and a commitment to your dreams, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Because at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we're not just selling houses, we're delivering the joy of home. Find your perfect home today. Call 570-344-6724 or go to jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Dream big. Move boldly. Each Century 21 office is independently owned and operated.
You are rejoining the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back.
With Homes 570, Shelby Hess, broker and founder, Dustin Bowen, president. Okay, so what is a common misconception people have about property managers, please?
Oh, boy. So this one hits home. Biggest misconception that people have about property management is that we are just a place that collects the rent, right? Huge difference. We are going with you on your entire journey while you sit back and maximize on your investment. We are screening your tenants, placing your tenants, constructing your leases, coordinating your maintenance. And you just get the financial reports to go, hey, whoa, property's doing great this month. That's what I would say is the biggest misconception.
I like to tell our onboarded owners that we are property passive income. Because with how easy we make it, whether they want to be hands-on the whole time or I just want my money at the end of the month, whatever, we fit it.
Well, there's a lot of people that invest in real estate it's an investment, it's for their future, and it's the same as stocks. Mm-hmm. We have a financial manager, right? So, I would never think of doing this on my own.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same with real estate, right? So you can enhance and grow their portfolios.
Exactly. And it gives them time to focus on finding that next property. They don't have to be bogged down by tenant requests or who's cutting the grass this week or are they cutting the grass this week. They just focus on growing their portfolio, growing their family, growing what they want, knowing we have their back.
Right. Right. And it's the little stuff that I always say, it's those little things. It's not the big rocks in the way. It's usually the pebbles that trip my days up, in what I do in my life. So that toilet, the handle on the toilet is broken. Does the owner want to focus on that or do they want to focus on their next purchase?
Especially when they're out of the area. If you're not local and you're not here to, get right into your property or know who to contact, those situations speak for themselves.
Well, how about some of these cities and boroughs and towns require a property manager?
Which, again, a lot of owners don't even realize what the requirement is as far as how far you can live from your property in order to properly manage it.
And there's some places when you buy a property, you have to register it with that area, that city, that town, that borough.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't realize that.
They have no idea. And then when it comes time to handle an eviction proceeding, that's when the ball drops. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. We're here, we're local, all of our people are local. Our eviction proceedings speak for themselves. We use a professional platform. It's called Door Loop. Everything is registered, monitored. All the communications are there. I have been through several eviction proceedings up to current, and there's not a single court proceeding that I've lost.
And that's huge.
It is. It is. Now, getting the money and, having that judgment, two totally different things, but you won the court case, and then we do everything we can to collect that for you.
Right. Do the owners have to attend?
They do not. Nope. They signed an authorization letter that sends me in, which is oftentimes hugely beneficial because they were not hands-on, so they didn't see the entire process. Whereas I can go in, we lay down the docs, and that's it.
Okay. Shelby Hess, founder and broker. Dustin Bowen, president of Homes 570. How does someone reach you?
Sure. Our website is www.homes570.com. Our phone numbers are, mine is 570-430-9458. Shelby's is 570-892-0844. Email is info@homes570.com. And check us out all over social media, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Send us a message. Tell us you heard it. And looking forward to helping you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming 2 weeks in a row. Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes, we have a beautiful all-brick ranch-style home at 120 North Van Buren Avenue. That's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home in West Scranton for $490,000. This home has exceptional craftsmanship. It's got spacious rooms, high ceilings, plaster and oak trim. This beautiful home, now this is it sits on 1 acre of land. It's got central AC. It's got a fireplace, a huge 2-car garage. This home is a very rare find in West Scranton. That's a stunning brick, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, ranch-style home on 1 acre of land at 120 North Van Buren Avenue in Scranton for $490,000, and that's listed by Gail Lewis of our office.
Solid quality build. You couldn't build that for that price.
No, not at all.
No. Join us next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. for more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate and 94.3 The Talker.